Hi, I'm Eleanor from Refuge Design Workshop. In these videos, I invite you to see spaces through a designer's lens, to notice the subtle details and intentional choices that make a space not just livable, but truly beautiful. Today, we're taking a closer look at the Biblioteca, or library, in Milan's Villa Necchi Campiglio, which was designed by architect Piero Portaluppi, and this was in the 1930s. While there are reams of details I could go on and on about in this space, I am going to focus on one especially delightful innovation in the library. And that is the vitrine cases, which you might have to search around for a little bit here, but I'm definitely going to show you in some other images. The most distinctive feature is the glass vitrines, and they're incorporated into the shelves. So when I saw this for the first time, my jaw dropped to the floor. So by inserting these glass display cases into these rows of heavy solid wood shelves, Portaluppi allows light to travel through the shelving units. And you can see how he has tried to configure the glass shelves to both, the shelves rather around the glass to both store books and also create partitions for discrete seating areas and areas of activity in the room. And then with the glass vitrines, they've also become displays for art as well as channels for light. And the transparency means that not only can more light come into the center of the room and generally help create this very light-filled space, but from certain angles you can also glimpse activity on the other side, so maintaining a visual connection to others sharing the space with you. Some of the Necchi Campiglio family could be reading in the sofas, while others are just on the other side playing cards, and the natural light filtering through the glass illuminates the table surface without creating harsh shadows, which is really nice for long afternoons of cards and games. And speaking of those card tables, they feature velvet playing surfaces, which is just both so luxurious but also practical for card games where pieces need to stay put, and also the sounds should be muffled, especially if you're sharing space with people who are reading. And I just gotta say, man, I would love to have the space and time for this kind of specialty furniture. It just makes me sort of nostalgic for an era that I just was not a part of, but it looks just so delightful. Then, notice the little drawers in the corner of the table. So they tilt out from the side of the table. And they're just the littlest drawers. They are maybe just big enough for some pencils, a scorecard, or maybe a deck of cards. And then the matching chairs are both beautiful, and the way they the surface and the velvet on the surface is the same velvet as on the seats. And then they're also look so comfortable, and they're going to support your posture while you're sitting there playing cards for the entire afternoon. The library's material palette is composed mostly of wood, velvet, and then a coating of warm white paint on the walls and ceiling. Notice how the wood's grain and warmth balances the formality of a library. So this could easily feel like a really stuffy and intimidating space, but instead it feels like a room where you'd want to spend time reading, playing cards, or just conversing. Furniture like the table is also covered in velvet. This adds softness, and then there's also just ample seating, so plenty of space to nestle yourself into these nooks of books, and the many volumes creating pattern and repetition and a sense of never-ending learning and entertainment and enjoyment. Lastly, I want to just draw your attention to that ceiling detail. This is one of the signature elements in this house. You see slightly different and varied treatments of the ceilings, but this is a motif that repeats frequently, this crisscross hatch pattern. It's something that connects the library to the villa's other spaces while adding visual interest overhead. And it's these thoughtful touches that really elevate a functional room into something memorable. Portaluppi's library in the Villa Necchi Campiglio shows us how specialized details, glass vitrines, velvet card tables, ample seating can create a room that's both highly functional and deeply atmospheric. It's a reminder that great design isn't just about grand gestures, but about understanding how people will actually use a space. Thanks for joining me for this closer look at thoughtful design. I share more design insights in my Substack newsletter, which you can find linked below. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another space where delightful innovation creates extraordinary livability. Until then, what elements of this library would you most like to incorporate into your home? See you next time.